So, picture this: Netflix's boardroom. Closed doors, hushed voices, nervous glances, and one name echoing off every wall like a ghost no one wants to face: Meghan Markle. Or, as insiders have now started calling her behind the scenes, MeghanMarkle. Dramatic. Maybe. Accurate. More than you'd think, because what's happening right now between Meghan and Netflix isn't just another broken deal, it's a slow-motion PR disaster. Unraveling in real time, and the debris is hitting everyone in its path. Let's rewind for a second. Meghan's deal with Netflix. It was supposed to be her golden ticket, the dream setup, a fat contract, full creative control, and a global platform to tell her side of the story. But that fairy tale, it's crumbling fast like a dollar store wig in a hurricane. Her contract. Done. Over. Cancelled. Effective after September. And no, the decision wasn't wrapped in sugar. Netflix's top brass, Greg Peters and Ted Sarandos, gave it to her straight. There will be no renewal. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And ever since that bomb dropped, Meghan's been in a full-on spiral. Now look, most celebs who get dropped by a major studio either lay low or pivot quietly. But not Meghan. Oh no, she's slamming the gas pedal and heading straight into the storm. She's planning what can only be described as a chaotic, over-the-top Instagram resurrection tour. And I'm not talking about moody selfies and vague captions. Nope, she's working on a full-blown, choreographed, music-backed campaign video aimed squarely at calling out Hollywood itself. And honestly, that already sounds unhinged, but believe me, it gets even messier. Now, this mystery video, yeah, the one insiders say is even wilder than that infamous pregnancy clip, was originally blocked by Netflix because Meghan was still under contract. But did that stop her? Not even close. According to people close to the chaos, Meghan's been quietly grinding behind the scenes this whole time. Writing, filming, editing like a woman on a mission. She even brought in her own mini-songwriting team to cook up a track packed with buzzwords: misogyny, sexism, toxic masculinity. The whole checklist. The result: a 3-minute blast of social justice theater. Picture this: Meghan and her crew dressed as stereotypical Hollywood male execs, cheap suits, slicked back hair, fake cigars, straight out of a parody sketch. And here's the jaw-dropper part of the video: was actually shot inside Netflix's own headquarters. Yup, you heard that right. Inside the building. No permission, no schedule, no head. Apparently, Meghan just rolled into one of the studios like she owned the place. Rocking a full cigar-chomping executive costume, swinging a suitcase, and breaking into hip-hop choreography, all without clearance. No one at Netflix knew, until the footage started bouncing around internal Slack channels like a rogue meme. And let's just say the legal team. Yeah, they're not laughing. But it doesn't stop there. Netflix Legal has already sent her team a warning: do not release this footage. And Meghan's team, they're doubling down. Word is, they've locked in a September drop, the exact month her contract ends, in what looks like one final, flaming middle finger to the Hollywood machine. They're even reaching out to press outlets to help hype it up, trying to frame this chaos as some kind of bold, edgy indie masterpiece. But let's be real, this isn't edgy. It's reckless, it's theatrical. And honestly, it's starting to look downright embarrassing. Especially considering the timing. Meghan's last viral stunt, the infamous pregnancy video, already had people side-eyeing her decisions. And now this. Yeah, it's not looking good. Whether it was real, fake, 4 years old, or shot last Tuesday in her backyard, that clip triggered massive backlash. People were confused, critics were brutal, and even some of her own fans were left speechless. And now she's trying to top that with a parody of Hollywood execs, filmed on property she wasn't even supposed to be on. That's not a smart move. That's career sabotage. Netflix is reportedly very close to pulling the plug on the reshoots for her series, Love, Meghan. That's hours of expensive footage, possibly headed straight to the trash. All because she couldn't resist filming a TikTok-style rebellion inside their building. At this point, it's no longer about creativity or artistic control. It's about defiance, plain and simple. And Meghan, she's playing a risky game. Ted Sarandos has seen his share of Hollywood chaos, but insiders say this latest Meghan stunt left him completely speechless. Not because it was bold, but because it was flat-out baffling. You've got one of the most talked-about public figures on your payroll, already walking on thin ice, and she decides to moonwalk across it in tap shoes. The vibe inside Netflix HQ right now, very tense. Private meetings. Tight lips. One executive even called it a masterclass in how to burn bridges while setting the river on fire. But the final straw wasn't just the unauthorized filming. It was what Meghan actually did in that footage. In one leaked clip going around internally, she's seen stomping down a hallway in a pantsuit. She's puffing on a fake cigar, barking exaggerated orders at her friends playing assistants. The whole thing is cut like a mock music video, flashing lights, over-the-top facial expressions, random dance breaks, and lyrics calling out old white suits choking dreams. It's supposed to be a feminist statement, but Netflix sees something very different. A legal nightmare wrapped inside a PR disaster. To say they're angry would be an understatement. Legal sent a letter that, according to someone close to the situation, left zero room for misinterpretation. It clearly spelled out why Meghan cannot use any footage filmed on Netflix property, cited the exact contract clause she violated, and warned of possible legal action if she moves forward. But Meghan's camp, they're moving ahead like none of it matters. Editors are already working on teaser clips. Her team is pitching the video to journalists. One rep even contacted a popular gossip site, asking if they'd cover Meghan's daring strike against the Hollywood system. People close to her say Meghan truly believes this is her formation moment, her big reclaiming of power. A bold reinvention, a dramatic return to cultural relevance. But to everyone else watching, it's giving something closer to a meltdown, especially when you look at how desperate it all appears. Behind the scenes, her team has been quietly reaching out to casting directors, agents, even smaller second-tier streaming platforms, trying to lock down her next move. But so far, every single door just keeps slamming shut. Executives don't want to go near her anymore. One producer even said, "She brings drama without the ratings." Studios see the headlines, the lawsuits, and the constant noise, and they stay away. Even her big social media push isn't helping. The pregnancy video already sent PR teams into panic mode. Now, with this new clip where Meghan mocks the very system she's still trying to be a part of, she's only making things worse. There's also growing talk that Netflix might scrap the remaining footage from With Love, Meghan. The show was never a huge hit, but it had enough internal support to get a second season. That support is fading fast. One source said the reshoots are on life support, and if Meghan doesn't back off soon, they'll cancel the whole thing. That would mean deleting over 3 hours of already shot content, a complete loss of millions in production costs. What's crazy is, she had the option to walk away quietly. She could have cited creative differences, rebranded herself, and moved on. But instead, she's chosen chaos. Not the kind that sparks change, the kind that wrecks careers. This isn't protest. It's self-destruction, broadcast online for the world to see. Hollywood can forgive a lot, but what it rarely forgives is someone mocking the very people and platforms they're still trying to work with, especially when that person filmed a guerrilla-style TikTok. Inside the studio they're under contract with, Meghan's team is clearly betting on controversy to keep her relevant, but even her closest allies are starting to back away. One publicist who used to represent her quietly said, "I think she's lost the room." Behind the scenes, people who once promoted her are pulling back, leaving her out of pitch decks, skipping over her name in meetings, or simply not returning her calls anymore. It's not that people are afraid of backlash, they're just exhausted. There's a growing sense of fatigue around everything Meghan touches. Every project seems to come with an expiration date the moment her name gets attached. People remember the podcast that fizzled out, the children's book that quietly disappeared, the Spotify fallout, the constant legal battles, and now this rogue campaign. Video that feels less like empowerment and more like performance art gone off the rails. Insiders at Netflix say even the interns know about the Meghan tape now. It's turned into a kind of underground meme inside the office. Some are calling it Suits, the musical, while others just shake their heads and say, "Only Meghan." But it's not just about what she did, it's about how confidently she did it. Like she genuinely believed Netflix would applaud her for crashing their space and mocking their leadership. That kind of delusion isn't just unusual, it's radioactive. What really sealed the deal, though, wasn't just the footage, it was the attitude. Sources say Meghan's team responded to Netflix's legal warnings with smug replies, almost like they were daring the platform to escalate it into a bigger story. They seem to view any kind of attention, even legal threats, as fuel for publicity. But that mindset might work for TikTok influencers chasing shock value, not in an industry where reputation is everything. You can't insult the gatekeepers and then expect them to hand you the keys. Meanwhile, the Instagram video is being treated like the second coming of the pregnancy post. But this time, people aren't confused, they're just tired. That first viral clip left audiences wondering if it was real, staged, or just a poorly timed throwback. This new one, it's loud, messy, and painfully specific. The cigar, the fake mustache, the cheesy background vocals, the whole thing looks like a rejected SNL sketch. Except this time, nobody's laughing. And yet, Meghan seems convinced this is her big swing. Word is, she's planning a full rollout, teasers, interviews, and maybe even a surprise Instagram Live. She's reportedly trying to license the original track on streaming platforms and is even pitching it as some kind of protest anthem. Her inner circle is hyping it up like it's Lemonade meets Barbie, but in reality, it's coming across more like a last-ditch Hail Mary from someone who refuses to read the room. As the clock ticks down to September, Netflix is preparing its final move. Legal options are being drafted. PR strategies are being reviewed, and if Meghan uploads that video, even for just 5 minutes, they're ready to pounce. Not because they feel threatened, but because they want to make an example out of it, to send a message. Not even a royal title gives you the right to breach contracts and clown the company on your way out. For Meghan, this could be the moment that defines her Hollywood legacy, not as a trailblazer, not as a disruptor, but as the woman who blew up her own second act in a blaze of selfies, stunts, and sound bites. Because at the end of the day, even the loudest messages fall flat when there's no one left to listen. And in Meghan's case, the silence after the noise might just be the loudest chapter yet.